Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter, and I'm coming on today with another craft along with me project. So this time we're making a folio using one of these large C4 manila envelopes. I think I got these from Poundland a while ago. So let's pull one of these out. We only need one envelope, so I think there's 15 in there, so you could make quite a few with that pack. So you need one, and these are C6, so these are the ones that are just slightly bigger than A4 papers, so that you could put your letters and what have you in there. You'll also need velcros or something to seal it with, some nice papers, and I'm using this Sweet Garden Roses paper, and your favourite glue, scoreboard and trimmer, as well as your scissors and scoring tool. Okay, so let's move everything out the way and we can get started. Okay, so you've got your envelope, and that's fine. And it doesn't have to be, this is one of those that is a self-sealing one. It doesn't have to be one of these, you can use any one at all. But we're keeping that bit on, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that later. So using your opening up your envelope, or should I say closing that piece over and butting it up to the side of your scoreboard, you're going to score at 4.5 inches. So I've got my hoogie board out because it's nice solid numbers. So 4.5, and then across to the 9 inch. There we go. Nice and simple, 4.5 and 9. I'm just going to flip that over and do the same on the other side so that we can fold backwards and forwards. Okay, we can pop that away now. And then what we're just going to do is we're going to fold our on those score lines. So the bit that opens, that folds like that. So then make sure that these sides are nice and straight, and crease that down. Then this one folds over this way, so you've got like a zigzag going on. And again, make sure that those sides are nice and straight on your envelope. So what you've got is that with your envelope. So this is my open end there, this is the middle, no it isn't, that's the middle, and then that is the fold over there. So open pocket, middle bit, and then you've got this. Now this is going to be another pocket this side as well. Now then, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my trimmer. Let's move those papers out of the way and bring in my trimmer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop that edge off. So I'm going to fold it over, and what I want to do is I want to chop it off to where this the lip of the envelope comes. Can you see where it just sort of comes round like that? So pop it in, and it will be different for every envelope, so do yours as by eye. So I've chopped that bit off, and I'm going to turn it round and do the same on the other side. Buff it up to there and then chop it off like that. So I've got rid of that. So we've got a nice straight edge on that flap there. Okay, take that away, and I can get rid of those two bits. And they're about 1 inch each on those. And I think the envelope was about 9 inches wide. So now we're here, let's measure that just so as we've got an idea. So that's just under 7.5 inches, so that's fine. Next thing we want to do is we want to open it out. So keep in mind where the middle is. So this is my middle part, the bottom of my envelope. So I'm just going to fold that back out of the way. Actually, no I won't. Let me start that again. So this is my envelope that flaps over like that. Let's move that out of the way so I can move things. and I'm going to open it out, and it's this piece, the front piece, that I'm going to be working on. So open that out, bear in mind where your middle is, and that's my middle there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to run a bead of glue down both sides of the envelope, and I'm resealing it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I also want to put a bead of glue. Let me just tidy that up a little bit. I also want to put a bead of glue along those creases going across my envelope. So these creases here, so I've got that crease there and this crease here, and I want to put a line of glue down that as well. And the reason we're doing that is because this is going to be the front of my pocket, and if I was to put things in here in the front of my pocket, they could end up going all the way down here, and I don't want that to happen. So I've chopped off the sides of the envelope to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm running a bead of glue down there. Now I'm just going to grab my spreader, making sure I've not missed any bits, because I don't want things to fall out the side of the folio. So that's spread that down there, and I'll do the same on this side so that we've got no gaps where the glue is, so nothing can fall through. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just going to bring this bit back over and lay it down. And again, you know I like to get my bone folder out and push the glue into the paper like that. Let's stand that up out the way. And then I'm just going to reinforce those folds as well, so that things, when the glue dry, aren't putting too much pressure on the paper. There we go. So now I've got an envelope, I've got an opening this end of the envelope, but it doesn't go any further than that crease, so I won't lose things all the way down into this side of the envelope. Okay, so that's that side done. So now we're going to work on this side. Right, so first thing I want to do is to choose some nice patterned paper. So let's see, what can we use? What do we fancy today? Do I want to go with something that's a little vintage, or do I want something a little bit more? Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Might go for that actually. This is the hardest part of most projects, is deciding, for me, is deciding which paper to use. So I'm going to use this one because I think both sides of this paper is really pretty, and I've got a spare one in case I need it. So let's move that out of the way. Now this is going to also be a little pocket here, so what I need to do is measure here, so that's just under 7.5 inches, and I also want to measure this gap here, so from here, from this edge to here, and that measures 3/4 inch. So what I want to do is get my trimmer out again, and I need to, I'm going to have to use the bigger trimmer, aren't I? I'm going to cut this in half, I think. Or yeah, I think I'll cut this in half, just so it's a lot easier for me to use on my little trimmer. I love my big trimmer, but it is a bit unwieldy. So what I want to do is I want a piece that's 7.5 inches. Oh goodness, I'm gonna have to get the other one back in, aren't I? Might as well stick with it, I think. So I want a piece that's 7.5 inches, so let's bring that out. 7.5 inches. I love this trimmer, but I hate going beyond here because you can't see it very well. So I'm just going to trim that down, and then I want something so that distance there was 3/4 of an inch, so I'm going to cut a piece that's just over an inch. In fact, I'm going to go to 1¼ inches, like that, and I'm then going to glue that in there. So let's get my glue. So do I want that side? I think I'm going to go with that side actually, on this side of the folio. So all the way down with your glue, like that, plenty on there. And I'm going to get my spreader, because I don't want is tags or whatever it is I put in my folio to catch on this as I'm putting things in and out of the folio. It's a little bit more glue down this side here, like that. There we go, that's better. And then I can glue that onto there like that. Again, I'm going to use my bone folder and just push that in there. Okay, so that makes that closure look a lot prettier, doesn't it? That's slightly too long, so I'm just going to come in with my scissors and trim that down. That side's okay. So there we go. So I'm going to open that up and I'm going to put glue. So this is the bit that comes across. So I'm just going to put glue down both sides of here, just enough to hold it and make that into a little pocket for us on both sides. There we go. And bring that across like that. And push that glue in. There we go. Like that. Okay, so now we want to cover this piece as well. So going over it like that. So let's measure. So I know that the width of the paper is right. So I want to measure that piece there. So this measures 3 3/4. So I can bring this back in, yay! Pop that in there, and I'm going to put it this way around actually. 3 3/4 inches. If you want to, you can, you know, make the envelope a feature. So you could make it so that it's sat like that. So you've got, you know, a border all the way around. But that's not the effect I wanted to go for on this one. So all the way around with your glue again. Like that. I'm in the middle to hold it. I think my nozzle is a little bit clogged up. It's coming out, but it's not as well as it normally does. So I'm going to go round there twice with the glue. And again, I'm going to use my spreader to get those edges and especially those corners. So we want them to hold down all the way around like that. And I'm doing it on my project so that the glue lands in the middle of the project, and it's just a bit of extra glue that would otherwise be wasted. So pop that over and put that in place like that. There we go. Whoops, that needs to come across a little bit, doesn't it, there? Nice thing with the glue is you've got a bit of wiggle room. So there we go. And I've put it so that I do have the tiniest little line there of the edge of the envelope, just so that I can differentiate between the pocket and where the envelope is. Okay, I'm just going to flip it over and make sure, yeah, there's nothing on the other side apart from this bit here, just slightly too big. That's the problem with that trimmer. As I said before, you can't see it very well where those numbers are. It's a great trimmer, really good, like butter through a knife through butter, but for some reason that just doesn't, you can't see those numbers at the top there. Anyway, so that's that side done. I will do the middle in a minute, but I want to work on this side now. So I've opened it up, so this is also going to be another little pocket. So this is no good, so we'll pop that to one side and maybe use that for tags later on. So I'm going to use this. Okay, so let's get measuring again. So this one is 4.5 because that's where I scored it, and again by 7.5 ish. So again, I'm going to have to get this one out, aren't I? Oh, I'm going dizzy going between trimmers. Right, and it will be different because unless you're using this make of envelope, there might be a slight difference in the size. So where am I? 7.5 there. Let's trim that down. Then I've got all of that for decorating or spare bits. So let's pop that back in like that and chop that off. So this piece, I'm hoping, yes, is just the right size for on there, and this piece is going to cover up there. Let's move my trimmer out the way again, and this time I'm going to glue on here because this has got that little lip there, and I don't want to go with the same shape on my project, so I'm just going to run the glue down there and across. Oh, that bit's come up, hasn't it? So can I remove that? Yeah, can I remove all of it? Yeah, let's just peel that off and then I don't have to worry about it. That's just a bit left over from the side of the envelope. Let's get the scissors and just trim that back. Right, okay. So let's go down both sides and the bottom. And do in between, and I will bring my spreader back in and just make sure I've got those corners and edges again. I don't want to go over on this side, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit. I think if yours hasn't got this, then don't worry about it. Right, there's spreader like that. And I'm going to put a little bit more in the middle, I think, just to make sure it's got a good hold onto that envelope back. There we go, and then just lay my card across there, making sure I'm not going beyond that where that flap comes over. So double check that like that, and again I can see I've just come over just a little bit there, so let's trim that off. Oops, using the envelope as a guide just to make that nice neat edge there. There we go, and again I'm going to use my bone folder to push everything in like that, and just want to make sure that that doesn't get glued down there, which it hasn't. Okay, I'm also, I think what I'm going to do is, let me just grab this. So I've got this little hole punch, which I think is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to pop it under here. Now I'm going to do it blind. Normally I'd go in this way, but I don't think it's going to stretch enough. So I'm going to go in. So I think that's the middle. So I don't want the middle. I want to come a little bit less than that. And then press down. And then I've got a little finger lift there in the middle of my pocket so that I can get in and out easily. Now this side, so I'm going to pop this on there. So this is the right length and this is the right width. So let's double check it for you. So that's 1.5 inches there. So I'm going to take this off because I don't want to glue on top of this the carrier. I'm going to take that off and then I'm going to put glue. Now do I want to put it that way or do I want to put it that way? Decisions, isn't it? So I'm going to put it that way. So I put glue all the way down here. Now I must bear in mind that this is very tacky, so it will grab as soon as I lay it down. So I'm going to have to be really careful, make sure I get it right first time. So all around the edges, and a bit in the middle. Again, spreader just to make sure I get all of those edges and corners especially all glued down. So there we go, all the way down, both sides. And I think what I'm going to do is, first of all, check I've got the right way. Flip it over, line it up on here, and then bring this across. Keep that nice and tight, push that in. There we go. I think that's got it, like that. And then I can come back in and trim. I'm just going to trim up that side. I'm not going to trim across there because I think I'm going to keep that width on that. So there's my pocket. And let's grab that other sheet of 12 by 12. There we go. Let's get that out of the... And this is a good way of using up your 12 by 12s. I think I've not got much left in that one, so that's good. So again, let's get my trimmer in. This time I'm actually going to do it at 7.5. I think I'm going to be a little bit more wise with my paper and cut it at 7.5. I think that might make my papers a little bit more user friendly. So what I want to do now is finish this up. So I've got the 7.5 on my papers, so that's going to go on there. So actually I'm going to leave it because I'm not sure which. Am I going to do it that side? Do I want it like that or do I want it like that? I will have to have a think about that. So I'm going to do inside first. So these are 4.5 inches, both of them. So let's get that in there. 4.5 inches, like that. And let's get another 4.5 inches. 4.5. There we go. And that gives me plenty there to do the other side of the of that. So let's get these in. Now I think I'm going to put the inside this way round, and those are a little bit long again, so rather than trim it off afterwards, I'm going to trim it off now So I'm just trimming a little tiny bit off the ends of both of those, and hopefully that will fit better. There you go. Yeah, that's going to fit much better. So let's get some glue down on this. It's such a quick little project, and you can then use it for anything you like. As in the middle you could put a little notebook or a notepad, or little pockets if you wanted to. Anything really. I think I might put some pockets on when I've done this bit. So let's get those corners sorted all the way down there. And this is only because I'm using wet glue. If you're using something else, then use whatever you feel comfortable using. So that's on there like that. Let's push that in, and I just highlighted that that's a little bit raggy there. My cutting wasn't quite so straight as I thought it was. There we go. That's better. That's better. Right, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. And what I want to do, so that it looks a bit more professional. Ah, no. This bit's from the middle, isn't it? Yes, if I'd have thought about it, this bit would have been 4.5 inches and gone there, and that would have all matched up, wouldn't it? But I didn't. Right, lesson learnt for next time. So glue down there and round like that. Go across that again, just to make sure I've got plenty of glue on there to hold that down. And my spreader again. You know I like my spreader to make sure. It also helps the glue to grab a little bit quicker as well, because it dries, because it's spread out a little bit, it dries that little bit quicker. So let's pop that down on there, put it up, not too close but enough so that it's so that I can fold that over like that. Perfect. There's a little piece of hangover there that I've just noticed, and that's going to annoy me. So I'm going to grab these ones and get in there like that. It's just a tiny little bit there. There you go. That's got it. Okay, so let's work on the last part, which is here. So if I remember, I think this was it 1.5 inches? Yeah, 1.5 inches. So where's my trimmer gone? Get that back in, pop it in, 1.5 inches. There we go. I might put that one on that way round. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it on that way round. So glue on. Yeah, that way round. Glue all the way down. Make sure we get those corners like that. So I'm going to put an extra bit of glue on this side, because this is where it's going to go over. Spreader again, get those corners and those edges, because those edges are going to get lots of pressure on them as I'm opening and closing this little folio. There we go. Flip that over, press that down, line it all up so that it matches. There we go. Get my bone folder in there like that. There we go. that is just a fraction over. So I didn't cut this, did I? I cut the other one. So get my scissors in there and cut that away like that. There we go. And I think what I will do, yeah, look, me being a messy crafter again with bits all over the place. At least I'm keeping this is fairly clear in the middle. Right, I have got a corner rounder somewhere. So I think this is my corner rounder. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to corner round these two edges here. So normally I'd wait for it to dry because it's a little bit wet still. So sometimes that can impact a little bit. So because the paper's soft, so as you're trying to cut it, sometimes it does. There we go. It does bend rather than cut. So there's that. Right, next thing, my Velcro dots. So I picked these up on the internet, YouTube, not YouTube, eBay or something like that. And I think I'm going to cut that in half. So let's just get the middle of that. Cut that in half. I don't think I'm going to need a full one. Open that up. I'm just going to line that up in the middle there. I'm going to take it off completely just because it's easier to see what I'm doing. So just lining that up there. I want to make sure I'm well below that, which I am. Push that down, push that in, and I now have my Velcro half a semicircle dot on there, and that is my folio almost finished apart from the decorating. So I've got a little pocket here and I've got a little pocket here, and then I've got the middle where I can add whatever I want to. I might just add a little notebook on one side and do a little piece on here, maybe even while I'm thinking about it, yes, I'm going to put some pockets on there while I think about it. So get my trimmer in again. How deep do I want my pockets? I'm going to go for 2.5 inches on this one. And let's do a finger lift there, and I'm going to just go round with a little bit of ink so that it doesn't fade into the background. Sometimes even with pattern on pattern it can fade into the background, can't it? So a little bit of ink on there so it just pops